Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm building a park for my resident services building. I've never quite known what to do with the odd amount of space that I had below and to the right of the building, so this week I finally decided to tackle it and settled on this idea of a park. I started, as always, with managing my flower infestation, i.e. stashing my hoard on the beach. I cleaned up the old paths and hid the sea of spare DIYs that I can't quite bring myself to let go of. I'm sure you can tell that I'm not a minimalist. My initial idea was to use the stone path throughout the park, but I don't stick to this idea. I needed something more varied because this is actually a pretty big space, albeit oddly proportioned. I also tried surrounding the area with the stone and iron fencing, but then remembered that Haunted Mansion meets Prison Yard was not the aesthetic I was aiming for today. So we scrapped that plan, and after a few hours of perusing Pinterest, I found this variation of the path, which really closely matches the plaza in front of resident services. I think it looks worlds better than the stone and so much less blocky. So now I'm just setting down the path in the general configuration that I want, but I'll adjust mine a bit throughout the rest of the build. As you can see, I've planted this rogue tree surrounded by holes. My idea with this was to replicate the town tree from New Leaf. I made it an orange tree as this is my town fruit, and I'll eventually surround it with shrubs and put a bench and garden lanterns down in front of it. It didn't turn out quite as grand as I had imagined. It would be amazing if we had some kind of raised bed for trees, shrubs and flowers in the game, but sadly we don't right now. Later I saw Stitches sitting on the bench though, so that was pretty cute and nice to see a villager actually using an item that I'd put down for once. Next, I set down the perimeter of the mini side plaza area, which I'll change out with seasonal decorations occasionally. Later in the video, I'll make a fruit and veg stand and a mini Starbucks to mourn the fact that we did not get Brewster in this autumn update. In next week's video, I'll be decorating my island with all the new Halloween items, especially this little events plaza, so if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, please consider subscribing so you don't miss when I upload. I had this big empty space in the bottom right corner of the park, so I decided to make a little duck pond, but I don't actually have the wooden duck DIY recipe yet, so it's currently just a pond. You'll see that I decided to move the town tree over slightly so I could make the pond look slightly less like an out-of-place square. That night I finished the path off camera so I could finally move on to decorating, and that's what I did for the next few days. I planted trees and lots of shrubs. I added a stone well and some street lamps too. Again, it was really cute to see my villagers already using this new area and just generally strolling around it. So now I'm playing around with this coffee stall design. I decided to stick pretty faithfully to the Starbucks aesthetic with the green and dark brown woods, but I also mix in a few red accents so to fit the autumnal vibes. After dressing up the coffee stall, I generally tinkered around with the landscaping for a little while longer, but then I moved on to the fresh produce stall. I used this same awning for the apple cider stall I made in my forest neighbourhood build. The creator codes will be in the description as always. On the fruit stand, I just go in with a fruit basket, cutting board, then a backwards pumpkin lantern and an apple on the log bench in front. I love the variation in height I achieved while making this stall, especially with the barrel and spooky tower off to the side. I think that a customizable produce display box would have been the perfect item to add to the game, especially now that farming has been implemented. I think that an item like that would have looked great here. With that being said, just the mix of the oranges and the browns and the reds are giving me all the fall feels. I love both of these stalls so much, I'll actually be kind of sad to take them down soon to decorate for Halloween. Then I went in with the final touches, just the park clock and a few more garden lanterns, some more flowers, and I think we are done. This is a build I've wanted to do for so long, and I'm so happy with how it turned out. This area to the right of my town hall was so slim that I thought I'd never figure out a productive use for the space, but this is definitely it. I love this path so much that I'm considering changing up my entire town centre area to use that instead of the standard brick path, but hey, I guess that'll just have to wait for another day. As I mentioned at the end of my last video, I'm going to be taking a break from student-related content and sticking to gaming for the time being, so if you've made it this far in the video, I'd really appreciate it if you dropped down below and left an answer to the question in the pinned comment. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any other video suggestions, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. I hope you're having a great day and that I'll see you again soon.